The wedding flowers have barely begun to wilt, and Sarah and Josh are already facing a cold reality. They are the people every society wants. They studied hard, secured stable careers, and practiced iron discipline with their savings. They followed the rules, did the work, and waited for their turn. Now, huddled around a laptop screen, they scroll through Zillow, searching for a home where they can finally set up a nursery for their first child. But every listing feels like a door slamming in their faces. The starter home, the modest house their parents once bought on a single income, has transformed into a $500,000 luxury item. In just a few short years, the price of a roof over their heads has skyrocketed, moving further out of reach every time they think they've saved enough. It's as if the goalpost isn't just moving, it's being pulled away by a force they can't see. Why have U.S. home prices disconnected so violently from the people who work for them? Is this just a temporary surge, or are we witnessing a fundamental redesign of the American life? In this video, we aren't just going to look at the numbers. We are going to decode the housing trap. We will explore the silent forces that turned a basic human need into a high-stakes financial weapon, and why working hard is no longer enough if you don't understand the new rules of the game. Chapter 1: The Missing Decade. To understand why Sarah and Josh are hitting a wall, we have to look at a scar on the American economy that never truly healed: the Great Recession of 2008. Before the crash, home builders were everywhere. But when the housing bubble burst, it didn't just destroy bank accounts, it traumatized an entire industry. Thousands of construction companies vanished overnight, and those who survived learned a brutal lesson. Building too much is a death sentence. For the next 10 years, America simply stopped building. We entered what economists call a missing decade, a period where housing production fell to its lowest levels since the 1960s. But while the cranes stood still, the world kept moving. The largest generation in American history, the millennials, continued to grow up. They finished school, entered the workforce, and started families. Think of it as a massive game of musical chairs. For 10 years, the music kept playing and the number of players kept increasing, but we forgot to add any chairs to the room. Now, as the music stops for Sarah and Josh, they find themselves fighting over a handful of seats that were never built. This isn't a simple case of greedy developers. It's the result of a 15-year supply gap that has left the U.S. short of nearly 4 million homes. Sarah and Josh aren't just competing with other buyers, they're competing with a decade of lost time. Chapter 2: The Golden Cage. Looking at the empty skeleton suburbs explains why there are no new houses. But Sarah and Josh often ask a more obvious question. What about the millions of houses that already exist? Why can't they just buy a home from someone looking to upgrade or downsize? The answer lies in a financial phenomenon known as the golden cage. During the last decade of low interest rates, millions of American homeowners locked in mortgages at 3% or even lower. For them, their house isn't just a home, it's the cheapest debt they will ever own. But today, with interest rates hovering near 7 or 8%, the math of moving has become a nightmare. Imagine a family living in a 3-bedroom house. They want to move to a larger one for their growing family. But if they sell their current home, they lose that 3% rate. To buy a similar house today, their monthly payment wouldn't just go up, it would double. This has created a total paralysis of the starter home market. People aren't staying in their houses because they love them. They are staying because they literally cannot afford to leave. The ladder of real estate is broken because the people on the bottom rungs are frozen in place. Sarah and Josh are staring at a market with the lowest inventory in decades. The supply isn't just low, it's trapped. But as the average family is locked out, another player is stepping in. One who doesn't need a mortgage, doesn't care about interest rates, and has billions of dollars in cash ready to move. And they are looking at Sarah and Josh's dream home not as a place to live, but as a line on a corporate spreadsheet. Chapter 3: The Ghost Bidders. As Sarah and Josh navigate the market, they notice a frustrating pattern. Perfect homes vanish from Zillow in hours, sold to ghost bidders who never even toured the property. For the first time in history, American families aren't just competing with each other, they are competing with billions of dollars in institutional capital. Giants like Blackstone or Invitation Homes don't send people to look at kitchens, they send algorithms to look at spreadsheets. While Josh is still waiting for a mortgage approval, these giants submit all-cash offers with zero contingencies. For a seller, a guaranteed cash deal in 48 hours is impossible to refuse. But why has the American home been stripped of its status as a shelter and treated like nothing more than a high-yield financial asset? It's easy to hate the faceless giants like Blackstone or Invitation Homes for leading this charge. It's easy to point a finger at the glass skyscrapers of Wall Street and blame them for pricing families out of the market. But to find the real answer, we have to look past the corporate greed and see a much more tragic irony. We have to look at Josh's own father. Josh's father has worked hard for 40 years. Every month, a portion of his paycheck goes into a pension fund or a 401k. These funds have a legal duty to make that money grow so he can afford to retire. In a world where the yardstick of money is broken, these funds are desperate for safety and yield. They see the housing market exactly how Sarah and Josh see it, an asset that only goes up. So, they hand billions to firms like Blackstone, telling them, "Go find us a profit." Blackstone isn't using magic money. They are using the collective retirement savings of the American middle class. The irony is heartbreaking. The father is successfully saving for his future, but the very fund securing his retirement is the one stealing his son's present. The capital meant to support the family in old age is outbidding the next generation for the homes they need to start a family of their own. This isn't a story of good versus evil. It's a story of a system so hungry for growth that it has begun to consume its own tail. But why did these giants invade the housing market now? Why has real property become more valuable than the money used to buy it? To understand that, we have to look at the invisible force making every dollar in Sarah and Josh's bank account disappear. Chapter 4: The Broken Yardstick. Imagine an architect building a skyscraper. Every day he uses a standard ruler to measure his progress. But now, picture this. Every night, a silent thief sneaks in and shaves a tiny fraction off that ruler. By the time he reaches the 50th floor, he looks at his tool and exclaims, "Look, this floor is twice as high." But the building hasn't grown. The only thing that changed is that his unit of measurement has shrunk. This is the central paradox of the housing market. We look at skyrocketing prices and think real estate is becoming more valuable, but in reality, we are just using a broken yardstick. This began on August 15, 1971, when President Nixon severed the link between the dollar and gold. Money stopped being a limited receipt for gold and became fiat, something that could be created in infinite quantities. But we have to be fair. Governments don't print money because they want to destroy the middle class. They do it as a desperate trade-off. Think of the economy as a patient in a state of sudden cardiac arrest, like we saw in 2008 or 2020. In those moments, the government acts like a surgeon. Printing money is the adrenaline shot to the heart. It prevents a total collapse, keeps businesses from closing their doors, and ensures that millions of people don't lose their jobs overnight. It is a choice between two evils: allow a Great Depression that destroys everything today, or print money to survive, knowing it will cause inflation tomorrow. They are trading the future value of our currency for the current stability of our society. The problem is that this emergency medicine has a permanent side effect. When that new money enters the system, it doesn't stay in bank accounts. It flows toward the things that cannot be printed: land, bricks, and mortar. When you increase the supply of money, but the number of houses stays the same, the price doesn't go up because the house is worth more. It goes up because the currency used to buy it is worth less. This is why the pension funds and the giants like Blackstone are desperate to buy property. They know that in a world of infinite paper, the only way to stay afloat is to own the things that the government cannot create out of thin air. They aren't just buying houses, they are fleeing from a shrinking currency. Chapter 5: The New Playbook. Sarah and Josh close the laptop. The cold blue light of Zillow is replaced by the bright surface of a whiteboard. They've stopped looking for a miracle and started looking for a strategy. The answer isn't to work harder at a game you are designed to lose. The answer is to adapt to the new rules. Their first move is to fix the engine of their wealth. In an inflationary world, working hard is the baseline, but scaling your skills is the accelerator. They stop chasing a paycheck and start chasing market value. While they increase their income, they simultaneously treat their credit score as a high-stakes financial weapon. They optimize every point, knowing that in the eyes of a lender, a perfect credit profile is the difference between being rejected and being handed the keys to a $500,000 asset. Next, they look at the map. They realize that the American dream doesn't have a fixed GPS coordinate. Through geo-arbitrage and remote work, they can earn big city wages while living in a small town cost of living. They stop letting a zip code dictate their net worth. They also dismantle the biggest myth of the old world: the 20% down payment. They don't wait for a decade to save a mountain of cash that is losing value every day. Instead, they look into FHA loans that only require 3.5% down, or USDA loans that allow them to move to the outskirts with 0% down. They realize that getting into the game early with leverage is better than waiting for a finish line that keeps moving. And when they finally buy, they don't just buy a home, they buy an income stream. They embrace house hacking, choosing a duplex or a home with an extra unit to rent out. They turn their biggest expense into their biggest asset, letting someone else's rent pay down their mortgage. But most importantly, they change how they see money. While they accumulate their down payment, they refuse to let their capital sit in the melting ice of a savings account. They invest. They buy proxies, assets that rise as the world gets more expensive. You see, the wealthy understand something that the middle class is just now learning. There are millionaires who still rent their homes, but they own shares in the companies that own thousands of those homes. Sarah and Josh realize that the house isn't the starting line. The mindset is. By the time they finally sign those closing papers, they aren't just homeowners. They are investors who outsmarted a broken system. And that home might just arrive much sooner than they ever imagined. 3 years of iron discipline. 3 years of playing the asset game instead of the savings game. Today, Sarah and Josh are finally turning a key. The house isn't a mansion. It's a simple sage green cottage with a white porch. But as they step inside, the air feels different. It smells like fresh paint and possibility. And then, there's the sound that makes every sacrifice worth it. the laughter of baby Emma. Yes, they still have a monthly mortgage to pay, but they aren't afraid anymore. When the news anchor talks about skyrocketing home prices, they no longer feel that pit of despair in their stomachs. They aren't victims of the rising tide anymore. They are on the boat. They've adapted to the new rules. We often think of a home as 4 walls and a roof. But for Sarah, Josh, and millions like them, a home is the physical manifestation of our security, our dignity, and our hopes for the next generation. It is easy to spend our lives in a state of quiet resentment. It is easy to blame the ghost of 1971, the algorithms of Wall Street, or a government that trades our future for current stability. And to be honest, you would be right to blame them. The yardstick is broken. The path that was clear for our parents has become a narrow mountain pass for us. But resentment is a luxury you cannot afford. If you spend all your energy shouting at the storm, you will forget to build your shelter. Stop waiting for the world to become fair again. Instead, become so strategically sound and so disciplined with your assets that the system has no choice but to let you in. The American dream isn't a gift handed down from the past. It's a fortress you build for yourself, brick by brick, in the reality of the present. But knowing the rules is only half the battle. You need to know which assets to own and how to start when you have nothing but a paycheck. In our next video, I'm going to show you exactly how to build your inflation boat. We will break down how to move from the melting ice of cash into assets that grow while you sleep, even if you're starting with just $100. Vision is the first step of construction. Before you can own a home, you must be able to see it, down to the color of the door and the feeling of the morning sun in your garden. I'd love to hear what that dream home looks like for you. Share your vision in the comments below, and let's treat it as a public commitment to stop spectating and start building your future today. If this journey with Sarah and Josh resonated with you, please hit the like button. It helps this message reach others who are still lost in the Zillow maze. The wind is blowing and the tide is rising. It's time to stop fighting the waves and start building your boat. Because your family, your future, and your home, they are worth the fight. I'll see you in the next one.